The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads.
Well, well, well. Seems like old Brian Kelly is trying to implode once again. Last year it looked like he was on the verge of imploding until he pulled a rabbit out of his ass and got a 1 point little lucky victory over Alabama. He's been living off of that since. Start of this year, he made a comment in an interview, said that they were basically going to kick Florida State's ass before the game. And they got their ass kicked. They didn't just get beat, they got beat down. And now he's making comments about Kirby Smart and how his team thought they were going to be the next two-time national champions. And Kirby said, well, maybe you should learn a little humility. Let's talk about it.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Fun of Brian Kelly because he's a fake, just like the Apache song. All of them are fake. They ain't really Indians, and he's not really a Southern guy, and he's not really starting to look like he's not really much of a head coach. He's still living off of 1 point victory over Alabama. But before we get to all that, I'd like to give my 4 horsemen shout-outs of the day. Here they come riding in once again. It's the Outlaw Posse. Now, in effect, and those helping me with the college football invasion, they are Spencer Rattler, Denizen, Keelback First, and Call of Apache. Apache's the theme of the day, right? We also have some new Outlaw Posse members that just saddled up, mounted up, and ready to go. They got your badge, and they're now deputized. They are Brian Johnson in Corrections 101. If you want your badge and you want to get deputized like they did, all you got to do is hit that join up button next to subscribe button. It's number $2.99 a month. 75 cents a week. If you're on an Apple phone, you may have to go to your laptop or computer because it doesn't mesh with YouTube memberships. Also, we had a few donors to the show. Alice Stokes with $20. Heath Stokes with $20. Can't talk today. Old 56 timer with $10. And Chad Cardell with $20 as well. Appreciate the hell out of all that. Also, I can be found on Twitter at OCF Productions. Now, getting back to it here. Brian Kelly coming last year, man, and I just knew that the bottom was going to fall out on this guy. He's coming from Notre Dame, made all these excuses and why he left Notre Dame, and yada, 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 and he come down here, and he had a pretty rough start. Well, then he upset my team, Alabama, and it looked like maybe he had righted the ship. But then he turned around, almost lost to Arkansas, and then lost to a horrid Texas A&M club. I think they ended up like 5-7 or some shit, and basically just shit the bed after beating Alabama. That one great victory of Alabama, he did nothing with. Won nothing. Won the division, but we're going away from division, so that accolade will be extinct. Didn't win the SEC title, didn't go to the playoffs, didn't do anything with it. And fast forward to now, starts talking that smack. I don't understand this. I don't understand why a guy in his position, I could understand if as a player, but this, or maybe even a graduate assistant or something. But if you're like an assistant coach on the football team, a major football team, or you're a coordinator, and even worse, the head coach, you're going to come out and say that you're going to kick their ass? I mean, he literally come out and said that in an interview. This ain't something that, I'm twisting his words or anything. That's the exact words that come out of his mouth. He might not have said it in a profane manner like I just did, but he alluded to they was going to kick the heck out of him or something like that. Well, fast forward to the Florida State game, boom, shakalaka boom, and they get their ass handed to them. Florida State don't just beat them, they beat them by double digits and then some. 21 points, should have been 28 without a garbage touchdown. And now Brian Kelly's making more asinine comments. He made a little comment the other day about the Georgia Bulldogs and how he thought his team, how they thought they were the next coming of the Georgia Hedge Pissers. And they thought they were going to be the next 2-time champions. Get a little ahead of yourself there, Brian. You hadn't even won an SEC title yet. And you're not just talking about one title, you're talking about going back to back. That's the oblivion that is Brian Kelly. And I hate it for LSU people because they're great people, like I've said before. I love partying with LSU people. I went to the Independence Bowl a few times back when Alabama sucked it up. And they always treated me well down there. I've heard some horror stories, like I said before, but it's never happened to me. I'm sure it can happen to any fan base. But LSU would have a dynasty if they had gotten a coach to stay, a coach that wasn't quirky as hell or had extreme moral flaws like Les Miles and Ed Orgeron, former friend. They're always going to beat in LSU, go Tigers. That kind of shit. And then you got what you got now. This guy comes down and starts faking his accent. It wasn't a joke he was trying to tell or be funny. He was actually thinking that he could fool people up into thinking he had a Southern accent like these Southern people down here never watched football outside the South. We never watched any Notre Dame games when you were talking in your regular voice. And you just keep making these comments, Brian. You keep saying stuff and doing stuff that's just cringy. Like the videos you made where you were bumping and grinding on players, man. It's just cringy stuff, man, that's just so random and spastic that just make you think something ain't right about Brian. And I hate it for LSU because, like I say, I think LSU could be a dynasty. They could be a team that could win multiple national championships back-to-back, just like Georgia did. But they're going to have to get a coach in here that don't have these personality flaws that are so epic that they interfere eventually with his coaching job. And that's all I got to say about that. You guys and gals, tell me what you think about all this. Drop in the comment section. Also, there's a little heart down here if you don't mind. It's got a little dollar sign in the middle. If you make a one-time donation program if you want to, throw a few dollars in the coffers. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And also, you can join the Outlaw Posse, as I said earlier, for $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You get your badge, get deputized, get your Four Horsemen shout-out, and also get a comment of the day. I didn't get one this week because I've done a live stream, but I will get back on that next podcast. And with that, I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.